you have to be wary of the online expert. Now, I say this, and I might come off as an expert in some ways, sure, right? But you could look at my results. That's a story for another day. I'm not really here to talk about me, but I'm here to talk about the average online influencer. And what's even worse is the average online fitness influencer. Now, this is something I've thought about for years because, I had a CrossFit gym for 6 years, trained thousands of clients, and I would see guys that would come to the gym. A lot of times they're younger guys, right? They had really good genetics. They would just put on muscle. They would just get shredded in a very short period of time. And I was in there every single day. I'm coaching clients. I'm training myself. For me, it was a long, hard journey to find results. And I've always wondered about how much do genetics play a role in the results you get. And I've come to realize, and there's a lot of people that talk about this. There's a hard gainers. I forget the name of the book, but he basically talks about the difference between hard gainers and easy gainers, and how if you're a hard gainer and you try to tell someone, or you try to follow the routine that an easy gainer follows and you don't get results and you get frustrated, and then for easy gainers, they can almost do anything and get results. It is so freaking true. It is so true. Some people can burn fat like nothing. Some people can put on muscle like nothing. Some people can eat whatever they want and not gain a pound. Right? Some people could put on 20 pounds and be lazy for 6 months and then get in the gym for 2 months and lose it all. It's literally insane how much variability there is to genetics and to the human body. Okay, at least as far as doing certain things like eat nutrition and exercise and fitness or whatever. As far as those are concerned, people respond very differently to certain modalities, okay? And this is the gripe I have about social media influencers, is what they do is N is 1, right? So this is a statistic term. It's you take how many are in a sample set, right? Maybe it's 1,000. So you're gonna test 1,000 people. You're hoping to get something that is statistically relevant, that kind of gives you a good guess at something that may be true. But when N is 1, N is basically one person. So one person ate this way, did this routine, and got results. Statistically, it means nothing. It literally is not something you could even put into a justifiable math problem or solution or whatever. It doesn't even exist in that realm. Yet, that's what we see on social media. We see people that have a certain set of genetics, right? Maybe they have a naturally big butt and they go to the gym a couple times a week. They don't really work that hard, whatever, and they sell their booty guide. This is actually a freaking thing. Now, sure, there's people that actually work hard and they earn their results, right? And sometimes you can see the before and afters. Certain influencers will show befores where they were lean and skinny or whatever, and then now there's just a lot of examples. You'll probably know what I'm talking about if you go online and you look at this, but N is 1 is a joke. So when you look at somebody that accomplished the physique that you want, right, and you think that everything they say is going to apply to you or be something that you should do or whatever, or that they even inherently have some knowledge that you don't or someone else might not, you are falling victim to I call it the N equals 1 fallacy, and maybe someone else made that up, I don't know, but this is just what I've observed. It is a big deal. You have to be wary of this, okay? And a lot of times when it comes to this type of stuff, you can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, there's Olympic weightlifting coaches, for example, that might be overweight or a little chubby or whatever, yet they know how to train the best lifters in the world. Does that mean you should listen to them for their lifting advice? Yeah. Probably should listen to them for their nutrition advice? Sure, right? Greg Glassman, creator of CrossFit. He's an ex-gymnast. He had an injury, and so he kind of walks around with a little bit of a gut. He's lost some weight in the years, but people always criticize him because he had a little bit of a gut, right? And he didn't look like this fit CrossFit beast. But he has the experience of training world-class athletes. So should you listen to someone like that for their training advice? Yeah, for sure, right? There's a lot of examples of this, and it's kind of a broader topic of just not falling victim to the halo effect, the idea that if you like somebody, everything they say is good, and if you don't like somebody, everything they say is nonsense. You see this in politics with candidates and all this crap, right? Be careful of the N equals 1 fallacy, because your typical influencer, your typical social media guru doesn't know shit. They are a fake expert, okay? They really are. And some of them, the guys that own the gyms that have clients on a daily basis, there are exceptions to this. Absolutely. But be wary of judging a book by its cover, right? Because the girl or gal that looks the way you want, for the most part, almost as a general heuristic, because it's so common, generally doesn't know what they're talking about. They're only giving you the thing that works for them. But the problem is the thing that worked for them, it may work for you, but it's very likely that it wouldn't work for you, at least not in the with the amount of volume or in the timeline or whatever, because there is genetic variability that is specific to that person that is not going to be. I mean, you could follow someone's booty plan or bodybuilding plan or whatever to the T, but then that person, because they do steroids, they do like 4 cycles a year, right, or GH, right, or they've had a naturally big butt because of genetics. Like you just can't. You have to be careful with this type of stuff. So this is my PSA. Be careful of the N=1 fallacy. Be careful of your social media guru expert. Be careful, especially when it comes to nutrition advice, when people tell you, like, and they show you the meals they eat, like, oh, I cringe sometimes. I just cringe because, not because they're doing it, because like if that works for them, that's great, but because they're giving that as advice to other people who are going to then follow it thinking it's right or good or whatever, and a lot of times it's not. So be careful. Like and subscribe. Just do it. Come on, man. Like and subscribe. By the way, ex-gym owner, trained thousands of athletes, successful entrepreneur, 0 to multi-million in 2 years. Blah blah blah. I don't really like marketing myself, but maybe I'll add this clip in there just so it can satisfy your who is this guy? Why should I trust him? Right?